Hello everybody, welcome to J-Hook Crochet and More. Today I'm going to show you how to make this drawstring backpack. It is a child size backpack and this is the first video in a series of videos that I am making called One Ball Project. This is a one ball project drawstring backpack. I also have the same backpack that I've made using the Hobium Magic Kitty kit. I made a review of this kit on my channel. I will put a link to it in the description box below so you can watch that video. And this backpack that I have made is made the same way that this one is. It is the same pattern, only I have sewn the Hobium kitty parts on there. So as you can see, this pattern looks very nice using different color yarns. You can make a lot of it. You can, once this bag is finished, you can, if you want, if you make amigurumi projects, you can make your own head, legs. You can make it into whatever you want, or you can keep it like this neutral, which I find very nice as well. So let us get our material and I'll show you how it's done. So I will be using this yarn here. It's a Knitco Fashion Hand Knitting Yarn 100-gram ball. It does not say exactly what kind of yarn it is. It just kind of says miscellaneous fibers. But it is kind of a rough feeling yarn, and it is, I would say a 3-weight yarn. It does not say the yardage on there. I got this yarn as part of my yarn swap group. I am a member of an international yarn swap group, swapping yarns internationally once a month. It's a very nice group. If you're interested, I would put a link to that in the description box below so you can join our yarn swap. But anyway, this yarn I have received in one of my swap boxes from one of my swap bodies, and I only have one ball of it. Therefore, I have been looking for a project to make that fits just one ball of yarn, and I thought this drawstring backpack would be perfect for it. So if you are using a 100-gram ball of yarn, weight 3 yarn, and a 4mm crochet hook, which is what I will be using, then you will get one drawstring backpack out of one ball of yarn. Now you can use the same pattern. You don't have to make the pattern different in any way. If you just enlarge the hook, you take a larger size hook and a larger weight yarn, then you can make the bag bigger. However, if you use a larger hook and a larger weight yarn, you will need more than just one ball of yarn. If you make it in the same like me, in 100 grams 3-weight yarn with a 4mm crochet hook, you will get one drawstring backpack out of one ball of yarn, and it will fit a child size, maybe 4 to 5 year olds. So we begin by making a slip knot. Once we get our hook in there, we make a chain of 90 chains. So 90. So once you have your chain of 90 done, go back and see that you don't twist your chain, and then we slip stitch back into the first chain. So right here, and we do a slip stitch. Now we chain one and make one double crochet back into that first chain, and then we will put one double crochet in each chain around for 90 stitches. So at the end of this round you will have 90 double crochet. So I'm coming to the end of row 1, and at the end of row 1, as I've said, you should have 90 double crochet. When you get to the end of the row, slip stitch into the first stitch. Now make sure you slip into the top of the first stitch, not this chain 1 here that we made, but the first stitch here. So this is what we have now. This is our first row. Now row number 2, and every row from now on will be the same. It starts with a chain of 1, 1 double crochet into the first stitch, the same stitch that we just slipped into, and then 1 double crochet in every stitch around. And this is what we're going to do for every row for the body of the bag. So the main part of the bag, what's actually the bag itself, every single row is the same. It starts with a chain 1, then double crochet into the first stitch, and 1 double crochet into every single stitch around. When you get to the end of the row, you slip stitch into the first stitch, not the chain 1, the first stitch, and then you do it again. Chain 1, double crochet into the first stitch, and double crochet into every stitch along. So you should always have 90 stitches, and we're going to keep doing that for 25 rows. We're gonna have a total of 25 rows with 90 stitches. So I'm going to continue mine, and I will meet you back here when I have 25 rows. So I have finished my 25 rows of double crochet. I slip stitch into the first stitch as we did in all of our previous rows, but we are not going to continue. We're going to fasten off, cut the yarn, pull it through. This we will later on sew in. So this is what we have now. Let me just move this away. This is the piece that we have now. This is the main body of our bag. It is made out of 25 rows of 90 double crochet. So the part facing us, the right side that was facing us the whole time as we were crocheting, this is the outside of the bag, the right side. Now we are going to flip the bag over so that we can close it on the wrong side. So later on, when we will flip it back, the seam will be inside. Now you want this seam, if you can see that, this is where we always started and finished our double crochet rows, where we always slip stitched and then chained one for the next row. And this will be in the middle of the back of our bag, so that when you wear the bag, the seam will be the part facing your back, and so you won't see it. Okay? And you want to have your piece inside out like this, with the seam in the middle. Okay? So this, the part that I would be working on now, is the bottom of our bag. So here on the top should be our starting chain, where we chained 90, and this is what we will now sew. So in order to sew this piece shut, we hold it like this, and we have our hook, the same hook we used before, with slip knot on it, and we are going to insert the hook here on the corner. Let me do this closer so you can see. Okay, and we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, and then we're going to pull that loop through the loop that was on our hook. And now we are going to sew this shut. So we take one loop from this side, one loop from the back, pull through and through. Okay, I'm gonna do this again. Let me separate those so you can see. So I am inserting my hook through the loop on this side, on the front side, then again through the loop of the back side. I'm working over my tail here. If it's easier for you to just sew it in later, you can do that too. I just find it easier to work over it. So I'm pulling the yarn through both loops and then through the loop that was on my hook. I'm gonna do that again. Front loop, back loop, yarn over, pull through and pull through. Okay, and we're going to do that all along the bottom of the bag to sew it shut. Okay, so we're going to continue this manner all the way until we get here. Let me just show one more time. Try to get it a little closer. We insert the hook through the front side and through the back side. Wait, I missed my tail here. This should be under. And then through and through. We always have one loop on the hook as we go. Okay, so sew your piece shut and I will meet you when you get here. So I'm coming to the end of the row. Just gonna do the last 2 stitches. Through and through. Now as you can see, this is sewn shut. This will be the bottom of the bag. This is the closed part. And as I've said before, the seam will be on the inside because we flipped it inside out. So once we finish sewing it shut, we can cut the yarn, pull it through, and this edge we can sew in later. Just want to flip it back to show you. This is what we have now. This is the bottom, what we just sewn. This would be the top. So this is my piece. This would be the front of the bag. This would be the back. This is what goes on the back, and this is what people will see, yeah? And now we will move on to make the straps. Before we move on to making the straps, I want to explain a little bit about how to size the straps, how to know how long the straps should be. This is the body of our bag. This is the top where it's open, and this is the bottom where we just closed it. And those are the sides. So when we attach the straps, they will attach here at the sides. And in order to know how long the straps need to be, we need to measure the side of our bag and make the straps 3 times as long. So the straps should be 3 times this length, the length of the sides. Obviously, both straps need to be the same length. We want the bag to sit straight on our back when we wear it. So we make 2 straps, each of them 3 times as long as the sides of the bag. Okay, there are 2 methods in which you can make the straps of the bag. I will demonstrate the easier one first. We start with a slip knot. And we chain 4. We have this chain of 4. We are going to slip stitch into the first stitch. We are going to chain 1, and now we are going to put 1 double crochet into the same stitch. We're going to put 1 double crochet in every stitch, so 4 in total. 2. It's a little hard to see where they are. 3, because it's such a small chain, and separate those. 4. So, and now it is a bit tricky. Maybe the first few rows are a bit tricky, but then we just continue putting 1 double crochet in every stitch. We don't chain 1, we don't move up a row, we just continue so in a spiral manner to put 1 single crochet. Sorry if I said double crochet before. We put 1 single crochet in each one of the 4 stitches. And we just continue like this in a spiral manner, and what this will make is virtually make a long, very long tube. Just continue putting 1 single crochet in every stitch, and maybe you can already see there's like a tube starting to form, and we put 1 single crochet in every stitch, and we just continue this way until we get to the length of the straps that we want. So this will just create this long tube, okay? And this tube will be our strap. Now I will demonstrate the second method. We start again with a slip knot on our hook. And we chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then with the chain on our hook, we insert the hook back into the second stitch from the hook and pull up a loop. And again, we insert it into the third stitch from the hook and we pull up a loop. So we have 3 loops on our hook. Now I will make it a little slower because this is maybe the hard part. We take our hook out of the first 2 loops, but we have to be careful not to pull the loops. We pull up 1 loop and go through the first loop that's on our hook. We insert the hook back into the second loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, insert back into the third loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and you have 3 on your hook again. Once again, we take the hook out of the first 2 loops, but we are careful not to pull them. We pull up a loop and go through the first loop, insert the hook back into the second loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop. Now I have 2 loops on my hook. I insert the hook back into the third loop, yarn over, pull through the third loop only, and again we have 3 loops on our hook. And we continue this way. I will do it one more time. We take the hook out of the last 2 loops, yarn over, go through the first loop, insert again into the second loop, yarn over, pull through the second loop, insert the hook into the third loop, yarn over, and pull through the third loop. Now we have 3 loops again. And we continue this way. And what this will do is it will create this tube in the same manner that the previous method I showed will do, only this way we close it nicely as we go. It actually comes out more solid, I think. I personally prefer this method to the first one. It takes a while until you get the hang of it, but I think that the final result is more clean, I would say, or so I think. That's my opinion. So we continue this way to make our straps. Now it's time to attach the straps to our bag. So I have made 2 straps, both the same length, and we will start with the first one. Doesn't matter which one, they're supposed to be the same if you made them right. And we begin here at the top of our bag on one of the sides, it does not matter which one, and we insert the strap in between two of the double crochet, behind and back out like so. Okay, we will do this again. So over one double crochet into the next space, and then under the next double crochet and out in the next space this way. You can already see what it will look like later on. So once again, over the next double crochet into the space, and then under the next double crochet and out, just like that. This is what it should look like, and we will continue this way all the way around the top side of the bag until we reach back this space here where we started. Once you finished weaving in your first strap, you can pull on the sides of it until the leftovers, or what's not weaved in up here, both strands are of the same length. And this is the part that will later on be attached here at the bottom, and then virtually this is the strap of the bag. This is what you wear on your back. So to insert the second strap, just go along the opening on the top and find the place on the other side of the opening that is across from this opening. Well, what I mean is we have to look for the space between the double crochet where to insert our strap so that it will be symmetrical. So we want, when the bag is laid flat, if this strap is coming in here, we want the other one to come in here and not too much at the front or too much at the back. So mine is about here. And those are actually 3 double crochets. This one, and then there's that one at the back here, the one that the other strap that we already weaved in is going over. And we want to insert our second strap in between here. And then it goes under this double crochet, and you always have to move the second strap that's already weaved in so you can see where that double crochet that you need to go over is, and then you just weave it in like that. And again, I will move the other strap, find the double crochet, and go over it like that. So now you can see those are the double crochets that are going over both of my straps, and here are the 2 double crochets that are going under them. And we continue this way all the way around until we get back here to the beginning where we inserted this second strap. Once we finished weaving in our straps, we can try to see if it closes and opens properly. Just pull on the straps to see that the bag closes, and pull from the inside out to see that it opens. If everything works right, then you did it correctly. And now we will move on to finishing the bag. Last thing we have left to do is sewing the bottom of the straps. So we go down the side of the bag, and we don't want to sew the straps to the first row where we've sewn the bag shut. And if we do that, when we wear the bag, it will kind of roll up and look odd. So we actually go to the 3rd row from the bottom. The 3rd row from the bottom is where we will insert the straps. So go to the bottom of your bag and count 3 rows from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, down the side, and this is where we will insert our straps. So we take the first end and we insert the first end. We just want to have it go through 2 double crochet over and out like that. You see? So, and now we will sew both ends together. So I have my yarn needle. I'm just gonna insert my yarn. This edge is a little bit fuzzy. Let me just cut this off real quick. This is easier. So I'm going to insert my yarn and just going to sew these 2 ends together. It doesn't have to be perfect because, as I will show you in a second, this end of the straps will be inside the bag. So what I'm doing is I'm just going through both straps, both ends of both straps, to sew them together. And that is enough. I'm actually going to use the other tail of yarn to tie it once and twice. And then these 2 ends we can cut off, not very short, and we weave them in later on. So right now, just to show you how it's going to look, I'm going to skip weaving them in, but we will weave them in and then you won't see them anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the bag inside out. and this is where the strap is coming. I'm just gonna pull on it so that this part where both ends are sewn together, this part here, this is going to be the part that's inside the bag. So in order to make sure that this side of the strap is inside the bag, I'm just gonna pull on the strap from the outside until I see that the place where it is connected, that's the part that's inside the bag. Now when I will flip the bag back, so this is the strap we've just sewn, and as you can see, you can no longer see the place where it's sewn together, so it looks clean and nice on the outside. And we're just going to repeat that for the other side. So we take one side of the strap, one end, and into the third row from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, we insert it down and 2 double crochets over, and here is where we will sew it together. And here it is, our finished bag. All the ends have been sewn in, the straps have been attached. This is the front side of the bag. This is the back side of the bag. On the back side you can see this ridge where we always chained one to go up a row. But when the bag is worn, you will not see it because this is the side facing outwards, the front side. This is how you close the bag, and that's how you open it. And here it is. Very simple. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have, please give this video a like. Please share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to J-Hook Crochet and More. There are many more tutorials coming up, yarn reviews, and plenty of other surprises that I have planned for you. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. See you next time.